It's the ultimate dilemma when it comes to satisfaction between the sheets. Length or quality? Quality or length? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a trick question, and the reasons why may surprise you. I'm Caitlin B, your sex and relationship coach, and today I am tackling the age-old question of whether length or quality is more important when it comes to nookie. If you are looking to knock a woman's socks off with your skills in the bedroom, and you wanna know exactly what to prioritize, then this video is for you. And if you're someone who maybe doesn't last as long in bed as you'd like, but you still want to make sure that your lady is having an incredible and mind-blowing experience in the bedroom, then you will definitely want to stay tuned because I've got some red hot tips on how to make that happen. So back to our question. What is more important when it comes to pleasing a woman? Is the ability to play her clitoris like a finely tuned violin, or do women just really want an everlasting Energizer bunny in your pants? Well, the answer is, drumroll please, it's complicated. In fact, it is so complicated. I've literally done years of research on the topic and designed an entire masterclass about how exactly to please all women all of the time. It's called She Comes Too, and it's pretty life-changing. But listen, like all things in life, sexual satisfaction is about balance. And in this video, I'm gonna go everything you need to know about how women really feel when it comes to the subject of quality versus stamina. And I'm going to give you 3 ways to improve the quality of sex you're having, and 3 tips to include the length of sex that you're having. And all of these are guaranteed to improve the overall sexual experience for you and your partner. Because my friends, you really can have it all, and you bet your ass that she wants to. All right, let's start with quality. Tip number 1 of 3 is to be present. To be a top shelf lover, you have to be present. It's not optional. You have got to be in the moment and in tune with your partner and yourself. In fact, the first step to ensuring that you're having high quality sex is to make sure that your head is in the game. And I'm talking about this head, not that he's already in the game. You know that. Is this in the game though? That's the question you're asking yourself. Because if you are absent-minded, or you're worrying, or you're thinking about what's happening or not gonna happen, am I gonna nut? Am I not gonna nut? Is he gonna go flaccid? Am I gonna da, 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 da? You're cutting down on the quality of sex that you're having. If you are able to be present in the bedroom, alert to your partner's body, noticing the reactions that she's having to every little thing that you were doing, then there's actually not even space for you to be worried about what's gonna happen next. You know, it is as simple as staying with the moment and being completely focused on what's going on between the two of you. And the same is true if maybe you're not worried about your erection, but you can't help but think about how guilty you feel that you forgot to get the dog that special dog food that he likes, and so he had to eat kibble last night, and oh my God, I forgot again today. Whatever, all of it is a distraction. And when you are in the bedroom, your only focus should really be on your partner and the sensations of what you are creating together. Tip number 2, talk about it. Drake once wisely said, "They say communication saves relations." I can tell. And with that mentality, Drake definitely knows how to bone. Talking about sex is important to the quality of sex. If you want to have better sex, speaking about it, communicating about it is vital. And that's because quality is subjective. Not every person agrees on what makes sex quality. In fact, I don't even agree with myself from 2 years ago what made sex quality, and I might disagree with myself tomorrow. Sometimes I want to make sweet, sweet missionary love, and sometimes I want to be like a rag doll. Those are both quality, but they are super different. And the only way to know what your partner considers to be quality is to have a conversation. So pushing past that awkwardness of like, oh, it's weird when we talk about sex and I don't like it, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Okay, you're an adult. If you're not, I'm glad you're getting your sex education, and I appreciate you watching this educational content. But if you're having sex, I presume that's because you are old enough to have sex. And if you are old enough to have sex, you are also old enough to talk about sex. The more that you can talk about sex, the more that you can talk during sex about what is working and what you'd like to change. It is great for you to be able to communicate both inside of the bedroom when you are needing it a little bit to the left, a little bit firmer, and more like that circular motion you were doing a minute ago. And it's great to talk outside of the bedroom like, hey babe, the next time that we have sex, I think it would be even higher quality if you would tie me up, but just my arms, not my legs. I have a weird thing about my ankles rubbing together. It just makes me really uncomfortable. Sharing this information with each other gives us the opportunity to be the best possible lovers that we can be. The last thing that talking about your sex life can really do for you is act as foreplay. You know, it doesn't have to be some big scary like dun 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 communication. It can actually be really arousing to have a conversation about what it is that you want to do to each other and how you can mutually improve your quality of sex. Therefore, when you get to the act itself, your results can be explosive. Quality tip number 3, pleasure. Pleasure. It sounds so simple, but when it comes to sex, it's worth reminding that quality should be defined by pleasure. A lot of people put way too much pressure on the end results, like typically the orgasm. But that pressure usually has a negative experience on the quality of the sex you're having. So being results oriented, setting specific goals for how long you want to last, or the number of orgasms she needs to have, or the kind of orgasms, or the way that those orgasms are given or received, actually has nothing to do with how good the sex was. Actually, the quality of sex is hardly ever measurable or quantifiable. It hardly ever has anything to do with numbers. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't aim to have a lot of orgasms or aim to last for a long time, but what I am saying is that if you put so much pressure on the achievement that you forget to focus on the pleasure, well, your quality is going to suffer. It actually might be the thing that is preventing you from reaching your goals in the first place. You know, only you and your partner get to define what quality is, and pleasure, and how you experience pleasure, how she gets to have pleasure, how I get to have pleasure, all looks different for every single one of us. The only person who can say if you are getting closer to or further away from a pleasurable sexual experience is you and your partner. Making pleasure the goal of your sexual experience and not orgasm itself will almost always increase not just the quality of your sex, but also how creative the two of you can get in bed. All right, now let's shift gears to my 3 tips for the length of sex. Number 1, lasting as long as you want. When it comes to pleasing a woman, the required length of penetrative sex varies from time to time. Some women find their main satisfaction through foreplay and only need penetrative sex as the finishing touch. Others want to be jackhammered for hours. But regardless of what your partner's ideal lasting time is, the most important thing is that you feel in control. You see, as a man, being in control of your orgasm is one of the most empowering and gratifying things that you can accomplish in the bedroom. And when you're not worrying about busting a nut before you're ready to, you free up all of that mental energy to really enjoy the ride and make sure that she does too, which is exactly what I teach in my course. Because the truth is, how long you last does matter, but only you and your partner get to decide how long that sweet spot is. And if you find yourself arriving a little bit early to the big event, I am here to help. I've literally worked with thousands of men towards achieving their stamina goals with 98% effectiveness on my course, She Comes Too. It is a detailed and effective course designed to help every man get control of his ejaculation no matter what his goals are. Check it out. The link is in the description. You will thank me later. Okay, number 2 tip for quantity of sex: extend the experience. Sex is so much more than P in V. I am talking foreplay, people. Don't get me wrong, there's absolutely a time and a place for a hasty bang. In fact, quickies are incredible, and I think we should all be having more of them. But if your sexual repertoire does not include really taking the time to enjoy and explore each other's bodies on a regular basis, then chances are you are leaving something to be desired. The next time you're having sex, don't rush it. Take your time from the jump. Make out for a while and get super horny before you even take her clothes off. Explore every inch of each other's bodies with your eyes, your hands, your mouths. It is such an incredible and connective experience to really take your time and pay attention to every little detail about your partner. You will actually naturally find yourself relaxing and gaining stamina when you go at a slower pace. You know, a lot of guys who are worried about how long they're going to last tend to rush to get to penetration because they're concerned that their clock is ticking. But ironically, rushing is exactly the problem. If you take it slow and touch and tease her until she's literally begging you to put it in her, guess what? You will have taken more time to build up your own control and steady yourself against the waves of arousal that you're feeling. You know, the more time that you take to get used to, get acclimated to, adjust to being aroused, the more control that you will have once penetration begins. Not to mention that the more aroused that she is when penetration begins, the more that she will actually be able to reach climax during penetration. It is a win-win. All right, length of sex tip number 3, pre and post care. I'll say it again, sexual connection does not begin or end with sex itself. And pre and post care are a crucial part of any satisfying sex routine. When it comes to having an amazing, colorful, head over heels connection with someone, whether it's a new partner or someone you've been with for a long time, it is important to look at the bigger picture. Are you truly anticipating her needs? Are you truly taking the time before your experience to make sure you are giving your partner exactly what she wants? And are you connecting after sex? Now, what a post-sexual connection looks like for both of you is unique to you, but it is important that you get it right. And setting clear boundaries and expectations can help you both feel good landing the plane after your sexual encounter together. Make sure also to find the time to celebrate your wins after you have sex. In other words, if you were super into something that she did, like, oh my God, it was so hot when you came while you were on top, or holy smokes, I loved licking your butthole, say it. These words may not seem like a big deal, but actually these can help us to heal our sexual shame and help us to feel better and more excited about the sex that we are having. So encourage her to tell you what worked for her and tell her what worked most for you. I cannot overestimate how important this extra time is. It is super crucial to celebrate your successes if you want to have more of them. So there you have it. Between all of the different definitions of quality and the ways to achieve it, you can rest assured that the incredible sex life that you deserve is within your reach. There are a million different ways to have a good time in the bedroom, and when it comes to length, variety really is the spice of life, and control really is how you get there. So whether you're looking for a big long marathon or a power quickie, keep my tips in mind to ensure that both you and your partner are satisfied with the length and the quality of sex that you're having. And if you want to check out any of my master classes, they are in the description below. Otherwise, make sure that you subscribe to me here on YouTube and follow me on Instagram and on TikTok for more free advice to help you have the best sex of your life. I'm Caitlin V, and I'll see you here next week.